It's been a record-breaking season for the women's ice hockey team. Would it come out as ECAC tournament champions for the first time in program history?
Women's basketball hopes to continue its win streak in Albany. Will its ticket to the big dance be punched, or will it be sent home empty-handed?
And the Hobey Baker nominee is here tonight. That's right, Michael Garteig joins us live in studio for an exclusive interview with Q30's own MJ Baird.
And as always here, we will round out the show with the top 5 plays of the week. Everybody's favorite time. All that and more coming up on Sports Paws. Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Paws. I'm Pat Pitts.
And I'm Sierra Goodwill. It was championship central the past couple of days, with basketball and hockey trying to make runs in their conference tournaments.
That's right, Sierra. Let's kick it off with the women's ice hockey in the semifinals of the ECAC tournament. Quinnipiac faced off against St. Lawrence this weekend at the High Point Solutions Arena. We'll take you to the first period as St. Lawrence goaltender Harrison Grace was dominant in net in the first, not letting anything get by her there in the scram. See right there as it goes by the net, but that was not the case in the second period as Emma Greco skates up the ice, skates in the zone, puts a wrister top shed past the blocker, 1-0 Quinnipiac. But in the third period, Ken Marchman puts it on the post, but then Hannah Miller taps it right in, ties the game up of 1. And then still in the third, Emma Woods, her first shot, no good. Megan Turner, second shot, no good, but third time's the charm for Randy Marcone as she scores off the rebound. And Sid Rossman is going to make a save late in the game. Quinnipiac will win 2-1. And here is Cass Turner postgame.
Ready for that. We've watched a lot of video. That's how they play hockey. I was really proud of our team and their mental strength today. If you were down a nice level and you could hear the energy from the other team when they blocked a shot, it was outstanding. But if you felt the energy from our group after that happened, it was even better, I thought. And I thought that's why the result ended up in our direction. We were prepared for them to block shots, and we had a plan as to what we were going to do from that moment.
And here it is, Pat, the championship game. Quinnipiac hosting Clarkson here at High Point Solutions Arena. It was a battle between two elite goalies in the ECAC with Sydney Rossman and Shay Tiley down on the other end. Let's kick it off right in the first period. Clarkson with an opportunity here, but Emma Greco diving, not even letting the puck get to Sydney Rossman. And then on the other end, a good job by Shay Tiley blocking the one-timer by Nicole Brown. But here it is, Nicole Costa wins the face-off. Nicole Connors misses wide, but Nicole Brown is there to find the back of the net. Quinnipiac leads 1-0 with just over a minute left in the first period. Heading into the second now, Genevieve Bannon tries to shoot 5-hole on Sydney Rossman, but she is there to cover up the puck. It is still 1-0 Quinnipiac. TTC Infrano will get her chance on the other end, right in front of Shay Tiley. No good. Emma Wood's shot goes wide. And like I said, Pat, it was a battle of the goaltenders. Here's another great save by Tiley on an Emma Woods slapper.
Both goaltenders.
Yeah, but here it is, something you don't see every day. TTC Infrano getting in a little tussle after a Clarkson penalty. It was a chippy game. I see a little rivalry between these two brewing.
Oh, me too.
Third period now, Kaylee Mercer, one of the best in the ECAC, but Sydney Rossman says, no way, not on me. And as the final seconds trickle out, Quinnipiac becomes ECAC champions for the first time in program history. Sydney Rossman named the most outstanding player of the tournament. Here's Cassandra Turner post-game.
You don't win championships without a great goalie. And, you know, she's been the rock for us. Whenever we need her, she's been there. You know, we talk about when we play defense, we need to be sure that there's someone there to help if someone gets beat. And it's the same thing. If someone gets beat, we need her there in that moment. You know, she's been a huge reason why our penalty kill has been so strong this year. And she was outstanding today, and it wasn't surprising to me. You know, mentally, she is a really strong goaltender, and that showed today.
After collecting enough points to lead the ECAC, TTC Infrano won ECAC Player and Forward of the Year. The sophomore standout has 52 points and counting on the season and posts an incredibly impressive plus 49 plus-minus rating. Sydney Rossman collected more hardware in the Bobcats' name as she took home ECAC Goaltender of the Year. Rossman and Cianfrano were both named to the ECAC Hockey First Team, and Rossman, Nicole Brown, Nicole Connery, and Emma Greco were awarded all tournament honors. The women's hockey NCAA tournament bracket was released Sunday night. No surprise that the #1 seed went to Boston College, who sports a perfect 38-0-0 record. The 2 and 3 seeds went to Wisconsin and Minnesota, respectively. Quinnipiac landed the 4 seed, and who will they be facing off against? None other than Clarkson. I see a little rivalry brewing here, Pat.
Oh, me too, Sierra.
But now we'll bring in Q30's Gabby Riggy to talk more about the Bobcats championship weekend and looking ahead to the NCAA tournament. Gabby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So, Gabby, Sydney Rossman was named ECAC goaltender of the tournament and this weekend's most outstanding player. How strong was she in net for the Bobcats?
Well, she was absolutely outstanding, Pat, and in the game against Clarkson, she faced more shots than she had in 2 games against Rensselaer, so able to stand on her head regardless, but in 37 shots faced, she only allowed 1 goal, absolutely huge. She's gone untested a lot and against some pretty decent defensive-minded teams so far in the ECAC playoffs, but she's very sharp. Anytime she's been challenged, as we saw in that short-handed breakaway by Kaylee Mercer, still very, very sharp. Rossman reads the angles very well, and she's always got her mind on the puck, even if she's not facing any shots.
Absolutely, but hardware aside, what's the biggest takeaway out of this weekend for Quinnipiac?
For me, it's a lot of the keys to the defense. Sid Rossman even said after that championship game, they did a lot of maturing in that weekend, and I think that's absolutely key. They're a team that's always been very strong in managing their emotions and keeping things in check, but I think in a game where they didn't really have to execute their penalty kill too much or use special teams that much, they were still very confident in their defense. And something that had been maybe an issue for them in the regular season was the idea of being in 1-goal games or only winning games by a lone goal. But as we see, they won the championship in a 1-0 game, so I think they're comfortable in that setting. I think they're ready regardless of, they're facing Clarkson again, as we'll touch on in a little bit, but just they seem very comfortable, they seem very happy, but I'm definitely in agreement with Rossman and the fact that they're doing, they're playing their best hockey now in March, and they've learned more and more from every single team that they've played so far in the ECAC tournament.
For the 4th time this season and 2nd time in the playoffs, Quinnipiac is going to be playing against Clarkson. What do you expect from the Golden Knights?
Well, you hear, though, they're playing them the 4th time, and I know Bobcats fans kind of shiver after knowing that with Yale in 2013, but I'm a lot more confident in this group. As I said before, they're playing their best hockey in March. I think Matt DeRozier, the Clarkson head coach, pointed out he thinks that his team wasn't playing their grade A championship game, so I think that's something you have to keep an eye out for is, they're going to bring their best game. In the game against Colgate, their defensive work and their working in transition was outstanding, and that's what was able to beat Colgate, but I think the Bobcats definitely have those strong legs and be able to maintain that consistency, and are very strong defensively. That I think they're 2 excellent teams. As Cass Turner likes to say, they bring out the best in one another. It's going to be an excellent game and another, continuing, as we've said so far, the rivalry between these 2 very strong ECAC teams.
Gabby, thanks for coming to talk hockey with us.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
And we're going to go right into the Niagara highlight. Women's basketball face-off against Niagara in the quarterfinal game up in Albany at the Times Union Center. Let's take you there. First quarter, Niagara is going to be driving baseline, pass out there, but Maria Napolitano is going to take it and go coast to coast, giving the Bobcats the 4-0 lead. They will end the first quarter up 10. Jump to the second half. Tiffany Corselli is going to get a cross-court pass, and she's going to hit it too. She led the Niagara Purple Hawks with 19 points on the day. But Quinnipiac would prevail as Sarah Schuin driving here, gives it out to Emma Clare. She does a fake move, spins by her defender, goes through 2 of them, puts up a shot. Great move by her. Going to the 4th quarter now as Sarah Schuin led all scorers with 24 points on the day. We'll see her back down here. She's going to drive, fake one way, whoop, go the other way, spin move, drive in the lane, put the Bobcats up 14, and then we'll see her final point on the day as she gets an impasse from Brittany Johnson. She's going to drive, gets the contact, and puts the Bobcats up 20. They will win the game 74-51. But don't you worry, we will let you know how they fared in the semifinal round when we come back.
And don't forget about men's basketball. How did it fare in the first round? Don't go anywhere. Sports Paws, we'll be right back.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
The freshmen this year have stepped in and really just eliminated that problem, doing the right plays at the right time.
I mean, it certainly seems like an uphill battle for this team, but Trisha Fabi is one of the best coaches at this university.
Bobcats hosting Arizona State. We'll start with this power play.
But she's strong. Good Lord, I saw her lifting one time. She could squat 3 of me. Like,
oh, well, 7 of me then.
Thanks for sticking with us here on Sports Paws.
And just like we promised, women's basketball faced off against Monmouth in the semifinals of the MAAC tournament. Roll the tape. The semifinals of the tournament at Times Union Center. It was a back-and-forth chippy game, just how you'd expect a semifinal matchup to be. Pat, here you'll see Erin McClure rip down a rebound. She gets it to Carly Fabry outside of the arc, who finds Marie Napolitano at the top of the arc. She nails a 3. Unfortunately, she did suffer a knee injury, which left her out for the remainder of the minutes, but that didn't stop her from being a vocal leader on the bench and in the huddle. Here, a nice drive on the baseline from Paula Stratmanet, putting Quinnipiac back in the lead, but the third quarter was a nail-biter, back and forth from through and through. Here you go. You see Monmouth's Jasmine Walker hit a 3 to tie the game up, and then on the other end, Quinnipiac down 2, trying to find some offensive momentum. Paula Stratmanet running it from the point. They will find Sarah Schuin on the baseline, who will hit the jumper. They tie the game back up at 36. But like I said, Monmouth had its eyes on a MAAC final. A nice dish from her teammate, Eric Ballman, nets the layup. Monmouth takes the lead, but here's the basket that gives Quinnipiac the 1-point lead it would not relinquish. A Paula Stratmanet 3-pointer. Quinnipiac goes on to win this one 66-59, advancing to the MAAC finals. Hugs all around, especially for the senior Marie Napolitano.
Quinnipiac's 19-game win streak came to an end Monday afternoon, losing to the Iona Gales 57-41. Senior Maria Napolitano suffered a knee injury in the semifinal game against Monmouth and could not play. Iona's Marina Lizarazu led all scorers with 19 points. Joy Adams finished with 11. Bobcats star freshmen Erin McClure and Paula Stromane struggled from the field. McClure going 5 for 13 and Stromane going 1 for 5.
With that impressive tournament run, it's no surprise the Bobcats came home with some awards. Erin McClure was named the MAAC Rookie of the Year after a freshman campaign in which she averaged 8.4 points, 6.9 rebounds, and a 46.9 field goal percentage. McClure was also named to the MAAC third team and a unanimous selection for the All-Rookie team. And the MAAC Coach of the Year goes to Quinnipiac head coach Trisha Fabry. Fabry has coached her squad to a 24-8 overall record this season, which included a 19-game win streak. Since joining the MAAC in the 2013-2014 season, Fabry has led the team to an incredible 56-10 record against conference opponents. Here to talk about the MAAC championship game and Quinnipiac's entire run is basketball beat reporter Dylan Fearon. Dylan, thanks for joining us.
Always good to be here, guys. Thanks.
Dylan, what did you see as the key factors in the championship loss?
Well, you guys talked about it earlier. I mean, Marie Napolitano being injured with that left knee. You know, she can do as much leadership off the court as she wants, but at the end of the day, you can only do so much off the hardware. They really missed her tonight. 11 points per game, you know, top ranks in the MAAC. She's good on defense, 1.5 steals per game, and so they really missed her out there. They couldn't get open looks as they wanted to. The ball wasn't going in as frequently as they needed to go. And credit Iona. Iona played great defense as well as offense. Marina Lizarazu was great, 19 points. Joy Adams as well, 13 rebounds. They really missed Napolitano out there, and at the end of the day, they just didn't have the experience with her out that they're used to. You're talking about a team that lost 5 starters from a year ago. They're back in the championship game, but which players had the experience from last year in that championship run? Aside from Napolitano, it was Sarah Schuin and Natalie Martucci. With Napolitano out, they really missed her out there, and they didn't have the experience to get the job done for 40 minutes.
And even though the ending wasn't what the Bobcats were hoping for, how successful was the season as a whole?
Oh, incredibly successful. I mean, we just said it. They lost 5 starters from a year ago. You lose 2 or 3 starters, you're talking about a rebuilding stage. You lose 5 starters, my God. But they still put up 24 wins on the year. They played incredible defense all year long. And yeah, they started off slow, 0-3 in the MAAC to start out, and then they win 19 straight games to close out the regular season. And they win the regular season championship against Iona on the last day of the regular season. Incredible job by Coach Tricia Fabry all season long with an inexperienced team. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to her, the entire coaching staff for recruiting a top class this year. The freshmen were incredible. We just talked about Aaron McClure. Paula Stroutmanet was great as well this season. She could have been the Rookie of the Year in the MAAC. They had 2 great freshmen. Carly Fabry was on the bench all of last year. Now she's a captain and a sophomore and playing a lot of minutes. Such an experienced team, but I would not be surprised if they're back in the championship game next year.
So, Dylan, what's next for this team? They don't have the NCAA tournament to look forward to, but there is the NIT.
Right. Unfortunately, there's no NCAA tournament for them. That's the goal every single year for a mid-major basketball team, but they still get to play in the WNIT because they won the regular season championship. They get that automatic bid into the WNIT. And Tricia Fabry alluded to this after the game against Iona, the fact that this group has not won a postseason game before. So going into the WNIT, they're going to come out with a lot of energy. Yes, possibly no Marina Napolitano, but still this group has not won a playoff game yet, postseason game yet. So looking to get that done. 2 years ago when they lost to Marist in the MAAC championship game, they played Villanova in the first round of the WNIT, lost that one. So this group is still looking for their first postseason win. We'll see if they can get it this year, but they're definitely playing a postseason game. We'll see how they fare.
Dylan, thanks for stopping by.
Always good talking to you guys. Thanks.
We're going to go right into men's basketball, taking on Ryder in the first round of the MAAC tournament. Let's see how they fared up in Albany in the first half. We'll see Shays Daniels get a pass down low, throw it right back to Boondu down low. He'll get the contact layup, putting the Bobcats up 1. Boondu will get another basket here down low, an entry pass from Dimitri Flores, and he'll have a nice spin around layup, and he'll get the contact. But Jimmy Taylor for Ryder hits a dagger 3 to put the Broncos up 3, and they would be in the lead for most of the game. Jump to the second half. Here's Dimitri Flores throws a pass to Donovan Smith, who throws up the baby hook, cutting the deficit for the Bobcats, and then Shays Daniels was going to drive, reverse layup for him, cutting the deficit to 7. Here, Danny Harris will fight for a loose ball. He gets it. Outlet pass to James Ford Jr. He's going to drive all the way to the house with contact, gets the bucket. Bobcats down 8 and a down 4 here. James Ford Jr. with a huge 3 to put the Bobcats down 1, but it's not enough as Dimitri Flores looks for space, can't find any, has to put a fadeaway J, does not go. Quinnipiac loses 60-57. The men's basketball team had many struggles this season, starting with putting the ball in the basket. You were not reading that wrong. The Bobcats had the worst shooting percentage from 2-point range in a season since 2003. It was the first time that Tom Moore had finished the season with less than 15 wins. The Bobcats rounded out the year, losing the last 8 of 9 games.
We're going to take another short break, but when we come back, we will tell you who Q30 Sports elected as the prestigious Bobcat of the Week.
And let's not forget about the top 5 players of the week. I mean, who could? Sports Paws, we'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's. Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws.
In the end, we're here to win a championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time. I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Men's ice hockey will be jumping into conference tournament play this upcoming weekend.
That's right, Pat, but the first round of the men's hockey ECAC tournament has already ended. Pat, there were no upsets in the first round. Clarkson swept Princeton in 2, winning the final game 3-2. RPI defeated Brown in back-to-back games, winning 4-3 in the second. And it only took Cornell 2 games as well to get rid of Union, winning 2-1 in the second game. Dartmouth, however, took 3 games to defeat Colgate. It took a Game 3 4-3 double overtime thriller for the Big Green to advance. Quinnipiac will face Cornell in the quarterfinal round, a team it has beaten once and tied once already this season. A major factor in the matchup for the Bobcats will be goalie Michael Garteig. Garteig is actually standing by now with men's hockey beat reporter MJ Baird for an exclusive interview. Guys?
Thanks, Sierra. That's right. I'm here with Quinnipiac senior goaltender Michael Garteig. Michael, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
So you guys had the past week off, got the first round bye in the ECAC. Nice to have some time off given, you've played in every game so far. What has playing every weekend done, given week in and week out, a toll on your body both mentally and physically?
I think at this point, I'm pretty used to it by now. My sophomore year, I played every single game that year. Last year, I think there was like 4 or 5 games I didn't play. 2 or 3 of them were because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, I'm kind of used to it by now. I think I prepare well enough in the summer to prepare for the long seasons, and the bye week was nice to kind of rest up and just mentally recharge a little bit and focus on this coming weekend.
So it's no secret that Cornell is a big team. They play a physical style. They're going to send big bodies to the front of the net, crashing the crease. How are you going to deal with that this weekend?
Just the same way I deal with every weekend. In the ECAC, a lot of hardworking teams, and Cornell's no different. Obviously, they do have some bigger bodies, and that's something I can just prepare with. Just make sure I fight through traffic, do little things right, make sure my skating's on par, and let the guys take care of business.
So you're facing off against Mitch Gillum this weekend. Just to let it be known, you've never lost to Mitch Gillum. What is it like mentally knowing that he is 200 feet down the ice?
I like the same thing I said previous. Like every goal in the ECAC is good. I think the ECAC has probably one of the better crop of goalies in the country, and Mitch Gillum's no different. He's a good goalie, and I've played against him in juniors before too as well. And it's kind of been a fun battle between me and him, and I look forward to what he can do to push me and be better this weekend.
So 2 weekends ago, you had a great weekend reminiscent of early parts of the season, only 2 goals against, 1 in each game. How are you going to take the confidence you built from that game and move it on into the postseason?
Oh, yeah. I think that was a good confidence builder. And, I mean, it's been a little tough, as you said, in the second half of the year, but there's still been good things that I have been doing as, an individual. And I think, going into this weekend, that last weekend was a good confidence builder for not only myself but the team as well, and we're all looking forward to a Cornell challenge, and we know it's not going to be easy, and we're all excited.
So playing Cornell this weekend, it's a big emotional weekend, obviously first or second round, but first games for you guys in the playoffs. As a senior, what do you got to do to this team just to get them ready for the game?
I think we just got to look at it like it's any other game, and not look at it like it's an elimination game. We're trying to end their season, and they're not going to be happy about it. And you know, they're going to put everything they have at us, and we're going to match that. And as an older guy, it's my job to just kind of regulate things between us and, you know, just make sure the young guys realize that, you know, it's just another game and we're going to have fun with it. And just got to enjoy the whole experience because it's been a fun year this year and we're really trying to, you know, enjoy the ride.
Michael, thanks for coming out today. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. The indoor track and field team traveled to Boston University this weekend for the ECAC championship. It placed 22nd out of 30 teams. Emily Wolf placed 6th out of 25 in the 5,000-meter dash, which is an improvement from her 17th place finish last year.
Men's lacrosse improves to 2-1 after a 9-7 victory over NJIT on Saturday. Ryan Feldman led the way with 3 goals, followed by Ryan Keenan, who netted 2. The Bobcats will make the short drive on Saturday to play the University of Hartford.
Women's lacrosse picked up a 6-5 win Saturday against Army. Kathleen DeVito led the team with a goal and 3 assists. Allison Kuhn and Amy Johnson contributed with a goal and an assist each.
The baseball team was in Blacksburg, Virginia this past weekend for a triple-header against Virginia Tech. Quinnipiac lost the first 3 games but won the last 4-2. The Bobcats are now 4-4 in the start of the season. They are southbound this coming weekend to play Florida Gulf Coast University.
The men's tennis team defeated Boston University 6-1 on Saturday. Senior Luke Rozier earned his 100th career win and 26th win this season. Jonas Kuwart and William Van Beesen grabbed 2 wins as well. The team heads down to Castleberry, Florida to take on Northern Illinois University on March 14th. And the women's tennis team fell 4-3 Friday against Army. Rachel Horton and Cecilia Rochelle picked up singles victories, but it was not enough for the Bobcats. Army's doubles swept Quinnipiacs and squeaked out a win in the final set of singles. The Bobcats head to Orlando to take on Bucknell University March 15th.
And now it's time for Sports Paws' Bobcat of the Week. It was clearly an incredible weekend, especially for the women's winter sports teams, but the Bobcat of the Week goes to women's hockey head coach Cassandra Turner. Turner not only became the winningest first-year coach in NCAA history, but she also led her team to its first ECAC title. With its victory over Clarkson on Sunday, Turner's squad broke the program record for most wins in a single season with 30.
Wait, Sierra, what time is it?
I'm not quite sure, Pat. I think it's time for top 5 plays of the week.
Absolutely. You take the odds, I take the evens.
Yeah, let's kick it off with the 5th play. It is women's basketball versus Niagara in the quarterfinals. Carly Fabry to Paula Stratmanet, who sends it into Sarah Schuin. Nice spin move around her defender. She scored a career-high 24 points in that one.
And number 4, staying on the hardwood, it's Daniel Harris fighting for a loose ball. As he grabs it, he's going to give the outlet to James Ford Jr., who's going to take it directly to the house, gets the contact and the bucket. Quinnipiac, however, would still lose.
Number 3, women's hockey versus Clarkson. Kaylee Mercer, one of the best in the ECAC, one-on-one with Sydney Rossman, but her right blocker says, not in my house.
Number 2, Emma Greco. As she skates up the ice into the zone, she's going to wrist one right past the goalie's top shed, and that's going to be a Bobcat win 2-1.
And your top play of the week goes from Nicole Connery missing a shot, but Nicole Brown there to tap it in. Quinnipiac is the ECAC championship winners for the first time in program history.
Well, Sierra, another episode of Sports Paws has come and gone, but that does not mean the sports coverage ends here. Be sure to stay up to date with all our content on Q30television.com.
Especially with our beat reporter crew in Albany right now. They are working tirelessly to churn out tons of content. There's interviews, gamers, and more all on our website, stuff that you don't want to miss. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Q30 Television and Q30 Sports. For all the staff here at Sports Paws and for Pat Pitts, I'm Sierra Goodwill. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.